pick your joy. You know, what do you want to do today?
Okay.
Do you want groomed corduroy? Do you want to carve? Do you want to be in the glades in the snow? You know, it's just pick your joy. We've got it.
So for you personally, because I know you've been around skiing, not just at Marquette Mountain, but your whole life, basically. What do you prefer as a skier?
Oh, it depends on the day. I love to carve. I really do. I love to go fast and I love to carve. I'm not as good in powder, but that's something I want to get better at.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess the next logical question is, because I talked about you've been around skiing your whole life. When did you get your start with skiing in general? When did you start skiing?
Sure. So I grew up in Nagani. I'm a Uber. And I actually grew up cross-country skiing for the good first portion of my life, on trails and out in the woods. And then when I was in high school, a friend of mine invited me to the ski hill on her sister's gear that was too small for me. And I never looked back. I loved it. Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I feel like probably a lot of people get their start that way. It's like, hey, come on with me. I ski.
Yeah, come try it.
Right.
Come try it. And then when I went to college, I was at Tech, and I was a year at Northern and did a lot of night skiing at Marquette Mountain because that's what I could afford at the time. And then went up to Tech and joined Ski Patrol there and skied at Ripley, and so I've been skiing ever since.
When you got your start with skiing, how long did it, or how many times did you go before you're like, okay, I really like this?
One.
One, just one?
Yeah.
It was right away.
It was right away, which surprised the heck out of me. But yeah, it was one. I loved the speed, and just skiing is freedom. Skiing, you feel, it's the closest to flying you can get without flying, I feel.
I suppose that's probably true, because, if you're coming down the mountain, you get some speed up. If you want to, you can really start to go. Is it just the adrenaline that it gives you that you love?
I think it's the adrenaline. It's the ability to be not in your head, but just kind of experiencing the whole thing. It's outdoors. It's the views. It's the people. I love to ski, but I love to ski with people. Skiing is a really social activity, So it's all of it, but it's that physical feeling of freedom that I love.
So I believe I'm right in saying you came to Marquette Mountain was it 2021 you became the general manager?
Correct.
Before that, again, if I'm correct, you were with Vail, is that right?
I worked for Vail Resorts at one of their Midwest resorts. That's correct. I did that for 5 or 6 years. Prior to that, I'd been a patroller for close to 30 years.
I wanted to ask you about that. What exactly does that entail, being part of the ski patrol?
Sure. So I was a volunteer patroller, which most of the Midwest uses volunteers for their patrols. It's a lot of people get into it because it's skiing with a purpose, I would say. Okay. You're out there to help people, but you're also doing this activity you love, and there's also that social aspect of it. So, but you're out there helping people. You're out in the out of doors in the winter, which, heck, we got to find things to do in the winter, right?
Yeah.
And that was part of, and honestly, too, as a college student, it was a way for me to ski more affordably, but put in a lot of time and meet a lot of people, too.
You mentioned the fact that you're out there, you're skiing, you've got a job to do as well. Mm-hmm. How much of it, though, is just being able to get out and ski? Like how much freedom do you have to just go and ski and enjoy yourself versus, okay, I'm on the ski patrol, I actually got to focus on what I'm doing? Sure.
Depending on the day when you're patrolling, it is a lot of skiing, and hopefully that's all it is.
Okay.
Right? That there isn't somebody that needs your assistance or that kind of thing. But when there is, you're there and you're able to do that. You've got the skills and the training to do that, whether it's getting down the mountain or they have an injury you need to help them with. Or depending on the mountain you work at, you could also be setting line and ribbon and different things. Every resort uses their patrollers a little differently, but yeah.
You bring up a good point there, because sometimes it is just help get down the mountain type thing. But when there's an injury, how much is the ski patrol able to help with that? Like, is it just first aid? Does it go beyond that? What's the level? Ski patrollers are first responders. And so always our goal is to safely get the person down the mountain into the next higher level of care. Okay.
And so usually that's just down the mountain and maybe to their car or just to talk with them and make sure they're okay. But sometimes it's the next higher level of care because they need it.
You said you were part of the ski patrol for, you said about 30 years, somewhere in there?
Okay. I've stopped counting.
A while.
Yeah.
A while. Yeah. Over the course of that time, do you have anything that stood out to you as part of the ski patrol that's like, I'm going to remember that for a while?
There's some incidents that I was part of. I've patrolled at 4 different areas. And there's some incidents I was part of helping people that, yes, stick with me. They needed help. They needed a lot of help, and we were able to do that.
It's got to be a satisfying feeling to be able to provide that.
Yes. Yeah.
That's one of the nice things about being part of the ski patrol. It's a satisfying feeling for you,
It
right?
is. It is. It absolutely is. I mean, if that's your purpose, if that's, part of who you are, that you like to help people, that is absolutely very satisfying to be able to do that and know you made a difference.
For someone like myself who isn't a huge skier and I've actually never been to Marquette Mountain, if I were to go, let's say tomorrow, would I be able to just go right down the hill, or is there some sort of like safety that I have to pass in order to be able to be allowed to go down the hills?
Are you talking to General Manager Kaet or Skier Kaet?
Whichever one you want to answer that with.
I started by just bombing a hill, which probably is not the brightest thing to do, but that's what I did. You can come to the mountain. You can sign up for a beginner lesson. You can rent gear. You can practice on our beginner area, Tyro, and then you can choose to go up and ski our green runs. It's really up to you. We don't have rules about where you have to start or that kind of thing, and it's acknowledgement that it's a dangerous sport no matter who you are and what level you're at. And there's tenets to skiing that we've got posted around and that kind of thing. But no, there's no cop out there saying, I'm sorry, you got the wrong jacket on, you need to be over here, that kind of thing.
So if you want to, like you said, maybe not the best idea, but if you want to, you can go and just fire down the hill.
Yep.
Yeah. You said that's how you learned. You think that helped you in your learning process to just go for it like that, or looking back, would you do it differently?
I probably should have taken lessons sooner.
Okay.
But no, I think that if I had waited for lessons, it wouldn't have happened. So for me, it was good. And then, patrol is really the group that taught me to ski well.
Okay.
Because that's what we do in patrol. We do a lot of training, first aid training and then ski and toboggan training.
Well, it's also got to be nice, the fact that, like you said, it's basically you're skiing the whole day. I feel like there's probably not much of a better way to learn than just ski. Right. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Is that true in your experience?
And Marquette Mountain will make you a better skier. Mount Ripley will make you a better skier. Those are the 2 places I started skiing. So to manage the terrain well, you are going to become a better skier.
Right. I think that's probably, when you think about it, it's probably true of a lot of things. Doing the thing, you get better at it. Lessons are great and I would say necessary, but they're a good idea. But you'll learn by experience.
They're correct, and part of that is the lesson, right? I think lessons are key, especially if you're an adult. Lessons, there are key moments where you should probably go get a lesson, right? When you're at the verge of the next breakthrough, you should go have somebody who knows how to talk to you about that and demo it for you, and then it's a quicker breakthrough than just hitting that wall over and over again.
You talk about breakthroughs, and I'm curious what you mean. Like, what are some of the stages if you're an adult that's starting to ski? What are some of those like big steps that you're taking along the way?
I think and maybe this is where Jim could jump in after this because I'm not an instructor.
That's fair.
But it's going from your slow wedge turns to moving into slow parallel turns to getting your skis up on edge and that kind of thing. So those are each of those is kind of a milestone in the progression and doesn't always come naturally.
Right. Okay. I'm going to shift a little bit as we're talking with Kaet Johnson, the general manager of Marquette Mountain Resort. You're responsible for the overall resort. It's not just the hill itself, it's the events you got going on, things like that. I wanted to ask you about something because I was as a professional, I was doing research yesterday. You just, I think, had the 90-pound rucksack challenge,
Yeah.
right? That fascinated me. Can you talk about what that is exactly?
Sure. So the 90-pound rucksack challenge is the first year we've done it. I saw it last year. Mount Ripley was doing it, and it's not a very old event. I don't think officially. Maybe people have been doing it all along to honor the 10th Mountain Division.
Right.
But it is a, sort of a reenactment of what the 10th Mountain did in Germany and Italy during World War II. So we had about 18 to 20 people join us that Wednesday evening. We had a couple of ROTC guys who snowshoed up, and then I believe they were on boards, boarded down, and then we had a lot of our locals skinning and skiing. So the 10th Mountain, when they came home, started a number of ski resorts. The National Ski Patrol has its roots in the 10th Mountain. So they're very important too and instrumental in the ski industry.
Yeah, so I personally didn't know this man, but I know my family knew a member of the 10th Mountain Division. I believe his name was Walter Cook. And when you think about it, I mean, it makes sense that that's where the Ski Patrol gets its roots, and that's where a lot of the ski resorts kind of got going, because you're over there and you're fighting in the Second World War. As a mountain division, you're skiing. I mean, that's
Right.
something that people don't really think of too much, but you're doing that. You get home. What do you want to do? Well, you know this. That's
Yeah.
what you want to continue on. But the rucksack challenge itself is cool, because not only is it something for skiers to do, like it's an event, it's a challenge for them, but it honors that history as well. What was it that made you want to get involved with that at Marquette Mountain?
I think it piqued my interest. I saw Mount Ripley doing it, and Mount Ripley's close to my heart.
Right.
I spent a lot of time there, and then just knowing the history of the 10th Mountain behind Ski Patrol is what initially piqued my interest. And then, I was aware like Vail was founded by a 10th Mountain. So a lot of the small and large resorts across the country were founded by these guys when they came home. And so they're just super key to the industry, and it's an industry I obviously work in, but I also love. So.
Right. When you did get it started, how long did it take to organize it and put it all together?
Not long. It was a super easy event.
Okay, that's good.
Partially because of the support from the side of it, that's across the country, national. And then it's just a very easy event here to put on at the mountain. Neil Flavin, our adventure manager, did great with it. So.
I also want to ask you, because you just did that. You got a lot of stuff that you do at Marquette
Yes.
Mountain, obviously.
We're an event company.
Very much so, and I would think especially in the summer too, because I mean that's what you have to do. What do you got coming up? Anything coming up soon?
So coming up, March 7th and 8th. So March 7th is World Telemark Day, so there'll be a meetup at Marquette Mountain for that. And some other events going on there. And also the 7th and 8th is the Hornbogen race, which is a long-standing race at the mountain. It's a 4-discipline race. We've split it up into 2 days just to give more time for people, take up less of the mountain for other guests, that kind of thing. But the speed events are on Saturday, which is downhill in Super G, correct? And then the GS and slalom are on Sunday. And it's a really fun event. It's for a good cause. It raises money for MMRT, Marquette Mountain Racing Team, and it's one of the only downhills in the Midwest left. So it's a great event. It's a lot of fun. If there's anything we know how to do at Marquette Mountain, is put on a race.
I believe I'm correct in saying you've hosted state finals for high school several times.
Yes.
When's the most recent one, by the way?
We haven't had the finals here in a bit. We had the semifinals or regionals, right, 2 years ago. I'm looking at Jim, and he's nodding. Jim and I were just talking this morning, and he said he figured out that we will host 29 races this season in about 2.5 months. I mean, 2.5,
Wow.
3 months. Yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty hectic.
Yeah.
That's quite a
Yeah.
schedule. For you as a GM, and I want to talk, when we get Jim on, I want to get into more of the specifics of putting on races and things like that. But as the general manager, What are some of the things sort of behind the scenes that you have to do in conjunction with those races that people maybe don't think about?
Oh gosh, it's every department. It's from the snow surface, the groomers. It starts with snowmaking, right? Before we even open, if we don't have the snow, the amount of snow we need to put gates in on the race runs. So it starts with snowmaking. It's into grooming, and then it's just everybody. It's lift operations. It's lift maintenance. If the lifts aren't running, that's not a good thing. If we don't have lift operators running the lifts for us, that's not a good thing. So and then across into the inside, with the T-bar and our bartenders, the kitchen and our chef and his cooks, guest service. It's just everybody. We run a small city. We really do.
Well, I mean, and that's another thing about Marquette Mountain. It's not just the skiing aspect. There is the hospitality aspect as well. And this is probably a difficult question to answer, but if you had to break it up into percentages, what percentage of your day-to-day is the hospitality side versus the ski operation side?
That's a good question. So it depends on how you look at it, but really even ski operations, I can look at and say is hospitality.
I guess that's true.
Right? So the mountain operations part of it, the grooming and lift maintenance is, once we're in season, is, maybe 20%.
Okay.
And then the rest is rental and lessons and guest service and food and, just all of those, and lift operations, because while that's operations, they're also guest service.
You mentioned a point earlier in your previous answer that I wanted to bring up. You talk about the snowmaking. Can you talk about the technology and physics behind that?
Sure. So snowmaking is very much regulated by, it's science, right? So you need a wet bulb of about 28 degrees to start making snow. Better snow is at a lower wet bulb, and so wet bulb is a combination. It's a measurement of humidity and temperature, and so you need the lower the humidity and the moderate to lower the temperature, the better to make snow. Now we've got two types of guns out at the mountain. We have guns, SMI mobile fan guns, which is a Michigan company, and they're down in Lower Michigan, and then we have Techno Alpine mobile fan guns and tower fan guns, and both of those types of guns are great. They excel in different areas. I wouldn't want a mountain without one or the other. I like having both and those options they give us. But the Techno Alpine guns are very technical. They're very advanced in their controls and all of that, and they make amazing consistent snow. The SMI guns can't do also. My experiences, and they might take issue with me saying this, but my experiences is they're harder to make good snow at questionable temps, right? If we're sitting right at 28, 29 wet bulb, I know I can get some decent snow out of a techno gun, depending on the knowledge of my snowmaker is what kind of snow I can get out of the SMI gun.
So that brought up several questions for me, because I don't know the background to that, right? So you talk about you mentioned some at the end there, the snowmakers. How many people do you have that are sort of in charge of that?
So we have a manager over snow surfaces, which is snowmaking and grooming. And then I believe this year we had 3 shifts of snowmakers and about 3 on each shift.
Okay.
So we're running it pretty lean. The leads and the supervisors run 12-hour shifts. The regular snowmakers run 8-hour shifts.
Okay.
It's a rough job. It's cold. It's hard. It's in the dark, a lot of it, so it's dangerous. So, and there's no way to make it totally safe. But we do our best, and the shorter hours for the guys who are out there just doing the laps is safer for them.
You talk about a lot of it happening in the dark, and I feel like that's a lot of the stuff that in terms of maintenance of the hill kind of has to be done after the people leave. What sort of stuff are you doing with the lights on after everyone's gone for the day? What are you doing to keep the hill in good condition?
So early season we're making snow and we're pushing snow out. As we get into season, we still might be making a little bit of snow, pushing snow out, grooming runs. Now we're in the grooming runs.
Okay.
Time frame, and so there's less going on at night, but there is always somebody at the mountain.
When it comes to grooming, how long does it take to fully go through and get everything done?
Sure. We groom every night. We groom from cliffs all the way over to ridge. So the west side we groom every night. If we've got 2 cats running, that's full 8-hour shifts or a little better for both operators. With the east side open, not every night, but periodically we'll put a couple passes down some of the east side runs just to give a groomed option for guests, but those are mostly natural.
8 hours.
Yeah.
That is I mean, it makes sense because there's a lot of work that has to be done, but so there truly is there's work going on pretty much around the clock.
If we're running 3 cats, it's a little shorter, but often if we've got 3 cats running, one of them is over working in the park or building park or doing something special somewhere. So it's still a good 8-hour shift for all of them.
That sort of leads me, and not exactly, but I'm very curious. We're talking with Kaet Johnson, the general manager of Marquette Mountain Resort. Over the summer, because ski hill, you think winter sport, because it is a winter sport. That's what skiing is. But you can't just shut down for the summer and do nothing. What in the summer do you do in terms of getting ready for the next winter?
Sure. So in the summer, we're doing maintenance on all the snowmaking equipment. We're doing maintenance on all the lifts. We're doing maintenance on the snow. I mean, it's maintenance right across the board on all the mountain operations pieces of equipment. It's preventative maintenance, fixing things that broke that we didn't get to during the season or couldn't. So it's a lot of that. And then on the kind of the resort side, I'll say it's a lot of events. It's weddings and private parties and whatever else fun thing we decide to do. Kayaking, we have guided kayaks, kayaking tours on Superior in the summer. We have mountain biking. We actually do more activities in the summer, so there's a more broader focus on things.
I wanted to ask, in your opinion, what makes Marquette Mountain better than the rest of the Midwest ski hills?
Oh, those are fighting words. What makes Marquette Mountain, I think, the best in the Midwest is our terrain, because of the varied terrain. The west side and their groomers, the east side, it's almost like you're out west. And then we have the best ski town in the Midwest. So.
Well, even in the summer, I think you do a lot of unique things. Like one thing that, I don't know if you've done it 2 years in a row now, but that is, in my opinion, very unique, is the wife carrying championships. Yeah. That is, so first of all, when I first saw you were doing that for the first time, I was like, okay. Well, I've never seen that before. What got that started at Marquette Mountain?
So wife carry came about because that was the winter that wasn't. That spring, it was the winter that wasn't. We closed early. Everybody closed early for us, right? We closed in March, early March. And so we had a longer shoulder season before summer season started. And it was really to keep people at the mountain, find fun things to do. So that was also the same year we came up with the cheese roll.
Yeah.
So, and both have stuck so far. The cheese roll is a ton of fun also. But that's what it was. It was, it was the winter that was not great for anybody. And so it was events. We had time to plan and do these events, and it was a way to get people back out at the mountain. And just really modeled it after the UK event, which has been going on, I think, for hundreds of years. And got a great partner in Everyday Wines. They were just opening their cheese cave at the time, and so they provided the prizes, which are significant, and at the time we gave an avenue they didn't have, or a crowd that they didn't have access to advertise their cheese cave. So, it's 2 years we've done it now. They are working on getting a representative from the UK over here for ours this fall.
Oh,
so
that would be cool.
Yeah, they're great partners. We really enjoy it with them.
That would be awesome. And not to jump around here a little bit, but I want to go back to the wife carrying. That, I think, has its origins.
Finland.
Is it Finland? Okay. Yeah. I was going to say, I thought it was Finland.
Yeah.
I wasn't 100% sure. But that's also got to be a plus given the Finnish population up here.
Yeah. That actually is a far more controversial event than I ever thought it would be. So just crazy. But I think that the city of Hancock also does one in one of their winter festivals. But we model ours after the one in Finland. And then we connect with Sunday River in Maine, because they hold the North American Championships. And if you win the North American Championships, then you can get to Finland. And so 2 years ago, our winners won. Ours was a sanctioned event.
Right.
And so they won and had the opportunity to go to Sunday River, Maine. And I believe they won the heavyweight division there. Yes.
Really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
First of all, I didn't know if there was an international governing body for that, but there you go.
It's loose, but yes.
I suppose there's something for everything, I guess. But am I right in saying the prize if you win is your wife or your partner's weight in beer?
It is, yes.
That's got to be a draw.
It is. We have this teeter-totter where the winning partner stands on it, and we just
keep loading the beer.
Just keep loading the beer.
That's fantastic. Again, I love the stuff you do in the summer. And you got other stuff. I mean, you got the volleyball nets up and all that stuff.
Yep.
What's your over the course of the summer events? What is your favorite?
Oh, that's rough. I love the cheese roll. Volleyball league is a ton of fun. Those are people that are out every week that you see all summer long. So that's great. We're looking at doing a cornhole league in conjunction with volleyball league this coming summer. So if people are interested in that, keep an eye. I guess I don't have a favorite because they're so different. We do Art on the Mountain, which is an art fair. We have music. The most fun is cheese roll. It takes the cake. Yeah.
It's hard, probably hard to beat when it comes to just pure enjoyment and I guess just letting loose. Because how do you let loose more than sprinting down a hill after cheese?
I think for spectators, the cheese roll is probably the most fun. I think for participants, an event we hold. It's the endurance hill climb on Rocket, and we usually do that in July. And those participants are some of the happiest, friendliest, fun people I've met. Yeah.
You bring up a good point because you wouldn't. I've interviewed endurance racers of different disciplines. I wouldn't think that they would enjoy it because to the average person, it's like that sounds grueling.
No, they love it.
But they do, right?
Yes.
They keep coming back, and it's a certain type of person I think that it takes to do that. But it's. Like I talk to people that do the Margie, right? And it's like I was crying when I crossed the finish line, and 2 days later I signed up for the one next year.
Right, yep.
It's like, oh, okay, if that's what you want to do. But for you as a GM, it's got to be really cool to meet all those people and to interact with them and see, okay, yeah, we're providing something that they like to do.
It is. It's really fun to meet the new people, to show off the mountain in a different and unique way, and to bring people in that maybe aren't skiers,
right? Never
will ski, but they get to enjoy Marquette Mountain and the views of Marquette and all of that.
Before we take a break here, because we're coming up on one, I got to ask you, and Mason already kind of did, but for anyone out there that is like, I kind of want to maybe try to ski. I haven't done it before, but maybe I want to start. What's your pitch to say? Come out to Marquette Mountain and we'll kind of guide you through.
Yeah, we have on Saturdays, we have group beginner lessons. Like this is your easy in. This is your easy entry, most affordable way to get in. It includes the ticket, the rental, and the lesson, and I think it's $55.
That's pretty good.
And then you could keep skiing the rest of the day on those rentals. So that's on Saturdays. So that's your easy in. If you don't want a lesson, but you're still not looking for a huge investment, right? Night skiing, all our rates are half off. So night skiing is a great way to come out and test if you love it. I did a lot of night skiing as a student, and so I love night skiing. And this winter reminds me of winter of my childhood, just with all the snow and snowing at night and skiing under the lights with snow. So it's great.
It's got to be a fun atmosphere.
It is.
For sure.
Yep, it is.
Well, Kate, I appreciate you coming on the show today.
Thank you for having us. We love it.
Before we let you go here, we got a big local sports show sweatshirt for you here. Want to thank Embers Credit Union for allowing us to do that. But here you go. I'll give this to you.
Thank
Hope
you
that's the right size. If not, we can get that worked out.
We'll work it out. No, it looks great. Thank you very much.
No, thank you for coming on. It's been a lot of fun. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. And we're going to have Jim Kelly on in our next segment. So make sure you stick around for that. It's the Big Local Sports Show live from Slabz here on Fox Sports Marquette 105.1 and 99.9.
You're listening to the Big Local Sports Show, live from Slabz Grill in Marquette on Fox Sports Marquette and 97.5 GTO.
Back on the Big Local Sports Show live from Slabz, presented by Base Hospitality here in Marquette. And if you are looking for the best lunch deal in Marquette, Slabz has you covered Monday through Friday, noon to 4. They got a $15 lunch special. Burger, fries, and a drink, or bottomless soup, salad, and fresh focaccia, all $15 here at Slabz. Well, we're back, and we're talking with Jim Kelly, and he is more than just a race coach. He is a part of the Marquette Mountain Race Team as one of their coaches, but he's also the Alpine Ski Race manager. Really excited to have you on. And actually, if you're watching on Facebook Live, you can see the TV above us. This is an event that happened a couple of weeks ago, I think you said, Jim. It's a live stream of a race that you had. How long have you been doing the streams?
I just started the streams about a month ago.
Okay.
I saw another group was doing it at different resorts, and I started researching and tinkering and how to get video signal from the very top of the course to the bottom and get it all out live, and I came up with a pretty simple solution, and it seems to be well appreciated by everybody, so you can watch our races from anywhere in the world. I guess.
I mean, and that's a great thing because, I mean, it's not just the youth races. I mean, you've done it for there was a college event there recently, but a lot of people have family that don't live locally, or if they do live locally, they can't make it to everything that happens. They can still watch, and that's one of the cool things that you provide there. What's the process been like of kind of getting this going? Has it been tough? Has it been relatively easy? What's it been?
I don't think it's been real difficult. I'm highly involved in the timing of the races too, so we have computers and we have monitors, and just getting the timing correct for each race is a bit of work, and I figured I could add another task to that I do every day. So I'm doing the video as well, and I take the times from the computers and stream it on the screen so you can see what the athletes' times are for each run. And then we took video from a simple cell phone over cellular data from the top, and then a video hardwired video camera at the bottom, did a split screen. And
really?
Yeah, so
okay.
It's really cool.
Yeah, that's a nice setup. I like that you have both cameras there, right? You can see from the top, and you can see after they cross, you called it the head wall, I think?
Yeah.
You can see them coming down from the bottom, too. So you got coverage of pretty much the entire thing. I want to go to, because you are the Alpine Ski Race manager, setting up for one of these races. How long does that take?
Every race is unique, and we run races on multiple different levels. It always takes a small army to put on a race, and at Marquette Mountain Resort, we have an amazing group of people that help out for each event. I mean, it's multiple days a week. There's adult racing, there's racing for kids. As we mentioned, we just had a collegiate race, we have high school racing. And so each one of those brings a different set of people that are going to help set up for these events, but it always takes a lot. It's a lot of work.
What would you, I mean, in terms of that setup, what's the most labor-intensive part, do you think?
For me personally, the B-net. As you can see on the video, there's a lot of red netting lining our race courses that has to be maintained and installed, taken down, put back up, and it's very labor intensive, but it's a safety feature that we don't go without, and it's necessary for each race, and every race is different, so there's always some work involved in putting that together. But that's just me. Everybody else, I mean, from the mountain staff preparing, grooming, building starts where the athletes start from, grooming it, everything the hill does, everything all the coaches do. It is really a small army that it takes to put on a successful ski race.
Of all the events that you have over the course of the year, all the races, what would you say is the largest one, the biggest production to put on?
Probably the collegiate race, just because there's the most athletes. attending.
That's true.
I believe there was roughly 300 racers and another couple hundred club members that came from all the different schools all over the Midwest to have the collegiate regionals in Marquette, and then the teams that do well here qualify for the national race, which I believe is in 3 weeks. And so our local school, Northern Michigan University, won first place in both events, so they'll be traveling to nationals to compete there against all the best ski racers in the country.
Go Cats.
Later in March, yeah, go Cats.
Yeah, you talk about how many people you have doing this. How many different schools are coming?
For that one, I believe maybe 22, 24
Holy
different
cow.
schools, yeah.
That's a massive production then.
Yeah, there are schools from all over Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota. There's a couple come from North Dakota. It's kind of the whole Midwest.
Yeah.
And it's a really fun weekend, a lot of energy and a lot of people and
Right.
and a lot of racing. And there's Alpine Ski Racing, there's snowboard ski racing, there's skier cross, border cross, slope style. I mean, there's events going on all weekend at the mountain, and each one takes a different group of people to organize and operate. So it's busy, but it's super fun.
I would imagine, yeah. I mean, like you said, it's got to be probably the busiest one of the year for you. But it also, when you're seeing it happen, what's that feeling like? Like after you've set everything up, you're done. The first race starts. Is there a satisfaction that comes with that? Like, okay, we've got this going, or does that maybe come at the end of it?
Throughout, I mean, you're never done until the last racer comes through on Sunday, and even then, you still have cleanup to do. So,
Right, I
but
suppose.
after all that, and it's the same people that put it on every year, and everybody creates a friendship and a bond that it's fun. I only get to see them for 3 days a year, but it's the same people year after year, and everybody is super fun to hang around with, and I really enjoy that weekend.
So I want to go back to you and your history with Marquette Mountain. How long have you been at Marquette Mountain?
Well, I've been there longer than a long time. I grew up ski racing. I started with the Marquette Mountain Racing Team in the early 80s when I was 6 years old, and skied through high school, was on the high school team here, moved away for a few years, and then came back, and I started coaching, I think, in 2002.
Okay.
And then was hired at the Hill in 2021. So
you've been involved in stuff at the Hill for almost your whole life, basically.
Yep.
I want to talk about the coaching side because you're one of the coaches with the Marquette Mountain Racing Team. How did you get your start with that, with the coaching side?
Well, after high school, I left to go to college, and I actually went to college for a year at Michigan State and got my PSIA level 1 because I wanted to teach people how to ski. And then the following year, I moved to Utah and went to the University of Utah and taught ski school in Park City for 3 years before returning to Marquette. And got my coach's certification while I was out there also. So when I got back, I was already well set up to be teaching people how to ski and ski race. And so it's kind of just been my life.
Right. Yeah. I would imagine Utah is a pretty nice hotbed of for skiers, I guess. What you'd say, is that accurate in your experience?
It's my favorite place in all of the North America to ski.
Yeah.
There's 7 great ski resorts within 45 minutes of each other. You can ski.
Pretty nice hub then.
It is. It's a great hub, and the variety and the quality of the snow just makes it super, super awesome skiing.
How much of what you learned there have you been able to transfer to what you're doing now at Marquette Mountain?
I mean, everything's a building block, and so the more experience you have in your life, and I was involved in ski school out there and coaching, and they used to host the first World Cup race of the year every year, first World Cup race of the year every year at Park City. And so I got to witness all that and be parts of that. And then in 2002, I went out and helped with the Olympics there. And in 2010, I went to the Vancouver Games and helped. It was a volunteer for 3 weeks out there.
That's actually, you brought that up, and that's a timely thing to mention because we just had the Olympics finish up yesterday. Well, I think Sunday was the closing ceremony, but when you were at the Olympics helping out in Salt Lake and then in Vancouver, what were you doing there?
Course working.
Okay.
So specifically at the Vancouver Games, to put on an Olympic Alpine ski race is a monumental task. I was one of 2,000 course workers, and that's just on the men's side. There was another 1,500 course workers on the women's side to put on all 4 events. And 5 if you include the combined. But in skiing, there's officially 4 events: slalom, giant slalom, super G, and downhill.
Right.
And so they just.
That's a massive undertaking then.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
It was maybe a silly question, but did you enjoy that experience?
Very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved it.
That's very much a unique thing to do, right? And you've had a chance to do it twice.
Yep.
In Salt Lake, were you doing the same thing there, or?
I was less involved in Salt Lake. I was only there for a week and was only there for the technical events, GS and slalom. And so I was not as hands-on as when I was in Vancouver. It was full-blown. And we were working. You start work at 4 a.m. and work all through the day, and everybody's a volunteer, but they treated everybody really well, and it was an amazing group of people and a lot of fun.
So I kind of got, as I tend to do, I got sidetracked there a little bit. So let me steer it back to the Marquette Mountain Racing Team. For those that don't know, I guess, what is the Marquette Mountain Racing Team? What age groups are there? What level is it? If you could just explain that a little bit.
The Marquette Mountain Racing Team is an organization that is based on bringing athletes into the sport and teaching them how to ski race. We start kids as young as 6 years old, and occasionally, with special exceptions, even 5, and all the way through high school age kids. So
you start them young.
Mm-hmm.
At 6 years old, what sort of stuff are they able to do? I mean, I would imagine at that point it's very much just learn the fundamentals, right?
Mm-hmm.
At what stage do you actually start to get involved in racing itself?
Right away.
Oh, at that age?
Yep.
Wow.
When athletes join our organization, they need to be able to put on their own skis, load the chairlift by themselves, and get up if they've fallen down.
That's probably a good idea.
As soon as they join, we start building on the fundamentals of ski racing. We do a lot of different drills, and you can kind of teach kids fun things to do that actually develop the skills that you're going to need as you progress to become a bit better skier. And you would be amazed how fast these kids pick it up and how good they get, even in a short period of time.
You bring up a good point in the fact that you come up with fun stuff for younger kids to do. That's an important aspect, I think, in any sport, right, is to make it fun, especially at the younger age levels. What sort of stuff are you doing, like in terms of, hey, let's do this. It's a fun thing, but also it's going to reinforce certain things that you need to have mastered in the future if you want to really be a good racer.
We have all kinds of terms for the different things that you have to be doing, and it starts just at the basic level of an athletic stance on your skis. You don't want to be leaning back, which is a very hard concept for kids to grab. Like, most younger skiers like to lean back. So as soon as you can get them leaning forward and putting pressure on their shins in their ski boots, the better that they're going to progress. So we have terms like, squish your grapes, or and pretend like there's grapes in the front of your boot, and you got to squish them when you ski down the hill. And we do different things where we have kids like stepping or leaning forward, or doing a drill where they have their hand on their head, and we call it a monkey, but you got to flex your boots. And and they just progress throughout.
I like that.
All levels of skiing.
That actually, for someone that has never skied in his life, Squish your grapes actually explains that pretty well to me. Like I can see what you mean by that.
Yeah, it transfers to the kids really well, and they all know it. They have some of them have stickers on their skis that say "Squish your grapes."
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
For you as a coach with Marquette Mountain Racing Team, what is your favorite part of that role? Like, what do you enjoy the most about it?
Race day by far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
There's just an excitement, and between the coaching staff, we have an amazing coaching staff. A lot of us have been working together for years, even grew up racing together, so we have great camaraderie there. And the kids are fired up, and there's just a level of excitement on race day that you don't see during practice necessarily. And the community surrounds it. Yesterday was the state finals for the high school down at Boyne Mountain, and our athletes represented really well down there. The girls won the state championship, and the boys got a close second. It was close all day, but they won. The boys won last year, and this year they got second.
I wanted to go back to the just training them into becoming like ski racers. What is the biggest difference between somebody who's really good at just normal downhill skiing versus like an actual ski racer?
They go hand in hand for sure. The best athletes in ski racing are also really good at every other aspect of the mountain riding. A lot of the kids that are really good in the park can transfer over to ski racing and vice versa. So a well-rounded skier is often going to be the fastest athlete out there.
For people that are curious about getting involved with Marquette Mountain Racing Team, what are some of the ways that they can kind of find out more or potentially get involved, get their kids involved in doing that?
We have a website that has a lot of information on it. I'm not positive what it is, but
I'm sure if you just Google it, it's there.
If you Google Marquette Mountain Racing Team, I think it's skimmrt.com. That has a lot of information on it. There's phone numbers to contact people, or if you just come out and kind of witness what's going on and ask any of the coaches, they're pretty easy to identify because we all have our uniform jackets, and just talk to them. And we invite all kids from anywhere in the community to come out and join us. We do our best to keep it affordable. We are one of, if not the most affordable race program in the country. And we have this year, I think, about 170 kids in the program.
Wow, that's pretty fantastic. I feel like that's a good number.
Yeah.
Before we take another break here, because again, we're due for one, I got to ask you this. As somebody, you're somebody that went through and was a part of the Marquette Mountain Racing Team as a kid. How satisfying is it for you to now see, to be a coach and see kids today going through that and learning like you did when you were younger?
It's as good as it gets. I love it. Both my sons are in the program now. My dad's still involved, so we have 3 generations out there.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm only one small example of a 3-generation family out there. There's quite a few of them, and it's just the community that has been built out there over time is as good as it gets.
That's pretty awesome. I like that. Anytime you can get that lineage within the same sport and people loving that sport within that the successive generations is a good thing. So, Jim, I appreciate you coming on the show today. I had a lot of fun talking about you. I learned that. Crush your grapes. How about that? That is going to stick with me. I promise you that. We do have to take a break. We're going to come back and wrap up the show. But, Jim, appreciate you coming on. Yeah, good luck with Marquette Mountain Racing Team going forward the rest of the year and all the different events you got going on.
Well, thanks for having me. Come on out and take a lesson.
I might have to now. See, I got one of the fundamentals already in my head. That's good. We're coming back, wrapping up the big local sports show after this on Fox Sports Marquette, 105.1, 99.9.
You're listening to the Big Local Sports Show, live from Slabz Grill in Marquette on Fox Sports Marquette and 97.5 GTO.
We are back, wrapping up the Big Local Sports Show live from Slabz, presented by Base Hospitality. Been a fun one today. Kaet Johnson, the general manager of Marquette Mountain Resort, came on. Jim Kelly, one of the ski coaches at Marquette Mountain Race Team, and the Alpine Ski Race manager at Marquette Mountain. Had a lot of fun today. Back with you next week on Tuesday, 10 to 11. More of the Big Local Sports Show then. Until then, thank you for listening. Back with you then next week. Fox Sports Marquette 105.1 and 99.9.